Okay, so today I'm going to be presenting on HRAI, which is a application that can help us understand the importance of using AI to filter out applications based off of the qualifications of the candidate. So human resources can have a better time focusing on the importance of their application or of their job and finding the best fit for people. The problem in understanding of business value. So there's a really big problem in the job hunting industry right now. Thousands of people apply to jobs every day. How can we filter them out the easiest to help find the most candidate or the people best fit? The solution is really simple. It's using filters based off of an LLM to review a company fit while protecting the privacy of applicants. The challenge of using AI to apply or to help filter out candidates is to protection of privacy. And so by creating filters to help negate these risks and to help the AI understand what it's looking for, it reduces the risk of applications going and looking the wrong way. The solution overview. HRAI is an app that allows HR representatives to view applicants and understand if the applicant is a good fit. Through the mobile app and also websites, there's seamless ways for representatives to see if the user is a good fit for the position. So the basic functionality of this app is that it's a React Native app that is connected to a Supabase server that when users upload their resumes onto the website, it'll connect it to a bucket, which will then go and filter out the candidates that are fit or unfit for the job based off of what their resume says. The AI goes and it looks for certain terms as well as understanding the role that they're looking for based off of the job description to understand if a user is a good fit, and then gives you a small summary of their experience and why they would be a good fit for the position. AI functionality and accuracy. So as candidates upload their resumes, it'll connect to a Supabase server that then uses an edge function to call Grok, which is not Grok the Twitter, but Grok, which is a free API, that LLM that will evaluate the resume and update fields in the Supabase to help us understand their true value. The AI doesn't see the user's name or identifying information to understand results. So essentially what happens is the user uploads their resume into this program, and the program will go and create a new table or a new row inside the application table with the first name and last name. And then after it has the first name and last name, it will go and it'll find the skills match based off of like a text find, which you don't really need the AI to do. And then as long as there's at least one text find, it'll send the resume broken up into chunks so it doesn't exceed the free tier of Grok's API limit to be reviewed. And then the Grok AI will give a review of each of the different chunks. And after it has all the different chunks compiled, a new prompt will be sent out that reviews the last chunks to make a 2-sentence statement about why the user would be a good fit or a bad fit for the position. And so that's kind of the science behind it in really simple terms. And here's the database that it connects to. So the jobs are put into a job ID, which is a primary key in this table that becomes a foreign key in the other table. And then it's filtered out and it gives description of position name, the department, the required skills, in the application ID. A lot of these fields are filled in by the AI, excluding the first name, last name, email, and phone number. These are filtered out these are created with the AI to help find a fit summary and match score. And it uses specific requirements from the filtering setup so that people can know, like, oh, this person had at least mentioned one of the job requirements inside of the resume before it gets sent to the AI. And I'll show you a little bit more of what happens when it doesn't have one of the job requirements, and I'm doing the demo. The upskilling plan generation. So based off responses of the resume, it shows clear gaps of where users are qualified and where they're not. When interviews happen, interviewers can address these weaknesses and make plans to help them grow in set categories if they are hired for the positions. For currently employed people, you can create spaces for them to upload their resume based off the job requirements to help see how to best train employees for current responsibilities. And so the system for hiring new employees or training new employees based off of what's required for their job is you go and so you go and you just create a job listing, which is with the requirements of their current responsibilities or the desired responsibilities for a candidate. And then you have them upload their resume and it'll give a screenshot talking about their strengths or their gaps. And so in these pictures, you can see that has the skills matches SQL, Python, and Excel. And then in newer versions, it'll talk about how there's little skill gaps in between and then talk about a fit summary for each of these candidates. And it'll be able to help you understand, oh, well, maybe the job requirements say that we need to have Tableau, but it's not mentioned in the criteria, or it's not mentioned in the resume of the applicant. And maybe that, or maybe even just saying that the AI didn't find any experience of them building dashboards at all, that could be harmful for the company, and it could be increasing risk by just wasting money. And so the AI will be able to help us see what the gaps are, and we can give employees certain upskilling plans so that they can be like, oh, maybe we enroll them in a Tableau course so that they can become more qualified for their position. Bias and fairness. The solution is fair in that it fills in their value of a hire based off of key traits that the company is looking for. This way, there isn't bias between candidates based off of gender or race or in their name. Using AI to filter based off of job description and responsibilities removes bias, giving specific requirements to the job fit. So as you can see in this picture, this was me uploading a resume from the beginning of this semester when I hadn't taken my Tableau class. It said that I wasn't a good fit for the job because I didn't have experience in Tableau, but it does talk about how I have had experience in other things such as automation, which isn't mentioned in the job requirements, but it could be something that's required since we use SQL and Python. And it's able to evaluate my resume and give a power statement about why I would be a good fit or why I would be a bad fit. Furthermore, the user removes identifying information from the resume and puts the information, or kind of just like the tech design and governance explained, that you'll upload your resume and identifying information from the resume and put all that into the website. And so you kind of remove that information. There's already safeguards put in place, but no AI is perfect, no filtering system is perfect for removing these. And so the safest way to make sure that confidential private or information stays private is to have it go directly into the database and then deleting that fields. After uploading the resume, the system will look for keywords to ensure that the resume has job fit tags. Also using filters to remove potential identifying information. If the system sees that there's a job fit, it'll break the resume into chunks and ask the AI to give a brief description about why the applicant is fit or unfit per each chunk. Lastly, the system will compile the information AI provided and ask the AI to condense the chunk responses into 2 to 3 sentence statements. So the innovation and impact is now we can automatically see candidates based off of their competence. In the future, this will be able to be scaled and through a website which we've been able to luckily build, and we'll be able to apply from the Supabase, or able to upload the resumes and it goes to the Supabase. So going into the user experience and demo, I'm going to open up to another tab, and let me make sure that this is working. Okay, continuing on to this project, I just want to show you the website. So this is HRAI, the web-hosted or kind of the computer online version. So the AI-powered resume platform. So it goes through and it kind of talks about, you upload your resume, it gives you AI analysis, and the company's able to review it from a remote spot. And we can go and submit our resume now. And so we're going to just create a sample resume that's just a random resume based off of the ChatGPT generation, and then submit it so that you guys can see kind of how it works. So go to chatgpt.com, and then we're going to say, create a job resume for Daniel, someone who knows a little bit about data analytics. Just kind of giving it a vague resume, and then we're going to ask for it to convert this into a docx file, and I will just file once we get that. So the file has now been generated, and what we're going to do is we're just going to drag and drop Daniel data analytics resume into here, and then we're going to put in Daniel, and then his last name is going to be Rivers, because that sounds fun. And then his email, we will just put 12345 at 12345.com, just generic information because this is not an actual human submitting it, and we don't want to accidentally have false information. And he is applying to the data analyst job. So privacy notice, it says please remove personal information, name, email, and phone from your resume before uploading. While we have filters in place, these filters may not catch everything. The filters that are currently set up is you upload your resume, and then based off of the entries in name, last name, email, and phone number, it'll delete that information from the doc before it gets uploaded and reviewed by the AI. So you're basically right here doing two-factor authentication that these are information or confidential information. And then with this information right here, it'll go into this table right here, and it'll create a new application, which has your application ID, which is just auto-incrementing the job that they're applying for, which is connected to the jobs table, first name, last name, and then it'll have the email be uploaded into it. And then right after the email is made, or right after the account is made, then it'll rename the file that you upload into a bucket that'll be renamed into the file application, or the application ID. When it's renamed into this application ID, it'll make it so then the AI knows which fields or which row to edit in the data, because that's just going to be the title of the document instead of being the title of your name. So when we submit resume, we'll submit it, and then it says your resume has been uploaded and is now available for companies to view in the HRAI app. Or in this case, we'll be viewing with the admin page before we view the app. Going to the admin, I currently have it set up so the username is test and the password is test, just for safety's sake. It says that right here, just because we're not doing anything. So this is Daniel Rivers. So this is his resume and his name and information we put in there, the job he's applying for, and his fit for the job, which is 100%, which we have not seen before. His skill gap, he hits every single job requirement, which is amazing. Based off of the provided chunk notes, it appears that the data analyst role is a good fit as they have experience with SQL, which is a fundamental skill for data analytics, and also have utilized Tableau for creating dashboards. However, to the extent of their experience with Python and Excel is unclear from the provided notes, which may indicate a weak fit in these areas. If we look at the application right now, I can pull that open real quick. We can see the skills that it mentions. So it mentions it has good stuff, but it doesn't really talk about projects that they've had with Python, and it was able to analyze this information, which is really cool. So what we're able to learn from this is that the AI is actually really accurate in what it's giving insights for, and it talks about projects and it's able to help us. If you think that this person is a good fit, which I believe they're an amazing fit, going onwards, I want to show you a little bit more about the next aspect of, which is the mobile application. Before I show the mobile application, I actually want to show the table that I have, just kind of so you can understand what the Supabase is doing. So this is the applications tab right here, and it talks about all the different applications that they have, or just the application that you enter, and then the job ID, which is just description of the job, which has positioning, position, department, required skills, that you can filter that out easier. And then the way that information is being sent over is through these buckets. So when you submit your application, it's about these 6 different job descriptions that there is over there, or the 5 different jobs I think is what it has right now. And it's filtered out based off of the candidates. I deleted some of these earlier because I deleted the rows while I was testing this out. But it has all these different jobs, and that's kind of how the AI reads it. And once it gets put into these jobs, you can see that there's different names for the newer ones, and that's kind of how they were able to have confidentialities, because when you upload it, that's the application ID, and then that's what the AI sees when they're going through the system. Going to my database, you can see the 5 different candidates. So the AI filled out the skills matched field, the fit summary, and the match score and count is based off of just keywords for requirements. But that just kind of filters out, so the AI is only being used for when it needs to be used. But overall, it's very effective in how the system is set up. Lastly, I'm going to show a demo of the mobile application. Credentials, it shows right there. And then it loads the same information. So Daniel Rivers is already listed here, and it talks about their fit. The mobile application has some really cool filters that you can do. So if you go to the current positions, you can scroll through to see all the applicants for certain positions. So just if we click on here, we can see when they're a good fit and kind of how confident we are in their fit for this role. And then if you click, then it kind of shows you a little bit more about the information. So it's just the requirements. Going over to the feed, if you scroll down, you can see that it has candidates, their strengths, and their gaps. So this is where you can be really able to do the upskilling programs and everything, is you're able to see the tableaus, the gap, and it kind of talks about kind of how their strengths and their weaknesses. And we're able to see automatically what their gaps are. And so maybe if this is a current position or a current employee, like this person target is just getting a position fit, then it's going to be able to give us an understanding, okay, we need to teach them how to do data or modeling in EAX. And so going through, it kind of talks about how we can have certain things or kind of people that just aren't fit for the job, and we can just filter those out immediately. And this is just an easy way for people to see all of the applicants in one spot. Going to settings, you can switch it to light mode, dark mode, and lockout.